Welcome to the Intechnica Performance Podcast Series. This short podcast is the second in our topic, Performance Analysis Best Practice, and looks at the importance of infrastructure monitoring when performance testing. So why should you monitor the infrastructure, not just the application? Well, principally to provide a complete picture of application performance and capacity. If you don't monitor the infrastructure, then you have no visibility of the impact of load on the servers and network that make up the system under test. A lack of infrastructure visibility delays resolution of any performance defects that may be observed, and you cannot obtain a true measure of capacity without monitoring the infrastructure. Ultimately, infrastructure monitoring completes visibility of application performance. It helps to identify the true fault domain for any problems that may occur, and provides visibility for capacity limits and constraints as they apply to the server and network. Aligning application and infrastructure metrics is vital to rapid problem resolution. In the example shown, the search and add to basket business transaction had a problem with search functionality. By looking at the application metrics available, we could follow the performance problem through the web request and method level, but without having infrastructure data available, we couldn't see the impact on the servers that were part of the system under test. In other words, how much CPU and memory was being consumed, and certainly no visibility of database performance, which in this case was the true cause of the search slowdown. Application infrastructure metrics together is the only way to get a complete view of application performance. So what should you monitor? Well, in Intechnica's view, at a minimum you should monitor the performance of all servers that are part of the system under test, but also consider monitoring network performance and the performance of any non-server appliances such as load balancers. Ultimately, you should monitor web servers, application servers, database servers, legacy components such as mainframe, and any network appliances that may be present such as load balancers. Tooling integration. Wherever possible, look to leverage infrastructure monitoring and performance testing toolset integration. By doing so, you greatly simplify data correlation and analysis. You enable a real-time view of infrastructure performance under load, and you automatically align application and infrastructure performance metrics into a single view. Where tooling integration is not possible, consider configuring monitoring separately and exporting the data at the end of the test into a CSV format file. You can then process these external files using tools such as Microsoft Excel, and you can still achieve an integrated view by manually correlating the results with the application data. So we'll finish off with some recommended metric examples. At Intechnica we use a series of templates which specify metrics based on the operating system and the server type. The first example shows the set of metrics that we use for generic monitoring of Windows servers, covering things like processor utilization, memory performance, disk space, and disk queue length, all the way down to the top 10 processors in terms of CPU and memory consumption. The second example, also for Windows operating servers, looks at Microsoft SQL Server database. The 25 metrics shown give a very good indication of database performance under load, and are based on recommendations from Microsoft. The final example looks at Linux servers, also generic operating system performance. Again, we're looking at the similar metrics: processor performance, memory performance, disk performance, and the top 10 processors in terms of CPU and memory consumption. This brings our short podcast to an end. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please send any questions or comments to the email shown, And our next podcast in this series will be looking at the importance of APM to performance testing analysis.